Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Sayyid Raza Muhyiddin, member of the visiting faculty, Time Institute Multan for MPH classes. And today is the fifth lecture on health promotion, health education and health communication. And today we will continue with our old topic, that was health promotion theories and models. And today we will discuss two very important models. The first one is precede, proceed. So first is, what is precede and what is proceed? This precede over proceed is a community-oriented participatory model for creating successful community health promotion intervention. So by this definition we have learned that number one, this is a promotion model, health promotion model targeting on the community. There were certain models which were targeting individuals. There were the models targeting organizations. This is a model, it is targeting communities. And second important, it is participatory, and the third one is it is interventional. We are interventing communities. So as the word indicates, precede, it is something which is concerned with pre-action, before some action. So there is a preparatory phase, and the second one is the proceed, is an action phase. In precede we have 5 phases. The phase 1 is a social diagnosis, phase 2 is epidemiological diagnosis, phase 3 is behavioral and environmental diagnosis, phase 4 is educational and organizational diagnosis, and phase 5 is administrative and policy diagnosis. Now from all these phases you also see these different steps and different targets. Then are the proceed, the action part. It also has 4 phases, in which the 5 phases I have already described. The phase 6 is implementation. The second is process evaluation. 7th number, or the second of this proceed, is process evaluation. Second last is impact evaluation, and the last one is outcome evaluation. So what is the assumptions behind precede and proceed? The assumption behind is that since behavior change is by the large voluntary health promotion, it is more likely to be effected if it is participatory. So without the involvement of the target group, you can't make a change in the community. There must be some leaders. So the people or the audience must be ready to interact, and the people from the community is also the part of that campaign. And all this health issues and other issues must be looked with the context of community, not the individual. And because healthy community means healthy life for individuals as well and communities. Then why this approach? So it is a procedure structure for constructing an intervention, and it provides a framework for critical analysis. It is participatory, so there is community involvement, and by this community involvement we involve the community. Then it incorporates a multi-level evaluation, not a single evaluation. We evaluate the society, we evaluate epidemiologically, we evaluate the organizations, and so and there the people are involved. and it also allows leeway to adopt the content and methods of the intervention to your particular needs and circumstances. Whatever there are need of the circumstances, the type of intervention will be different. So, how we use this technique? In phase 1, I already told you, it is social diagnosis. We are to community what it wants and needs to improve the quality of life. We diagnose the needs and wants of the society. Then we analyze it, we check it in epidemiological diagnosis. What are the different diseases, their prevalence, their incidence in that society, or the other health related events which are likely to be intervened. And then you create the objectives for the intervention. So whatever the community is, and whatever all the communities have the different a community living in a factory have got different epidemiological findings. Then the different areas have got the different prevalence of diseases. So our line of action and our intervention will be different in the different cases. So the first is how we use is the social and epidemiological diagnosis. And then in phase 3 we see the behavioral and environmental diagnosis. How during this diagnosis we identify the behaviors and lifestyle, and of course the environmental factors what we have to change in our intervention. Then in phase 4, educational and organizational diagnosis done, we see our liabilities, we see our strengths, weaknesses, and how to support or enforce the factors, and how to remove the barriers which can be, stop us from behavioral or environmental factors to change. And in these phase 3 and phase 4, we plan the intervention. Social diagnosis, epidemiological diagnosis, and then the diagnosis of behavioral and environmental diagnosis, and educational and organizational diagnosis. By these 4, then we plan what type of intervention we need. And then in phase 5, we diagnose the administrative and policy diagnosis. You identify the internal administrative issues and internal and external policy issues that can affect the successful conduct of the intervention. And these policy and administrative issues are mostly concerned with financing and the resources of intervention. Then in phase 6, now the proceed starts, the action starts, the implementation. So we just carry out the intervention. In phase 7, we is the process evaluation. We evaluate the process, that we determine whether the intervention is processing according to plan and adjust accordingly. In first phase, we see whatever we have started, is it working? And then in phase 8, it is the impact evaluation. We see what the intervention we have done, is there any impact of that evaluation on the target areas? And in phase 9, we see the outcome evaluation, that whether the intervention effects of an intern producing the outcomes, or it is the community as we identified in the first phases, and then we adjust accordingly. So all these stages, I repeat again just briefly: social diagnosis, epidemiological diagnosis, behavioral and mental diagnosis, education, environmental diagnosis, then is the operational policy making diagnosis, then is the implementation stage, progress assessment, see the input assessments, and then in the end is the outcome assessment. So, and what is the outcome? Is the health and quality of life are the outcomes. We see that impact is the healthy, active, and lifestyles, healthy environment, and progress. You see the whatever we have planned, is it working or not, and what is our implementation is the health education, organization, laws, regulations, policies, what we have decided, the interventions we have decided, whichever level it is, these are the implementation level, and diagnosis I've already told you in detail. So this was all about proceed and precede, and now we will discuss another model, that is the social marketing. Proceed, precede was a model acting on the community. This social marketing, you all know about the social marketing, social media campaigns. Everybody is familiar with this. The social marketing is the systematic application of marketing concepts and techniques to achieve specific behavioral goals to improve health and reduce health inequalities. There are so many definitions of social marketing, and this is one of the definition. And this was developed, the certain scientists, they developed how mass media can, campaigns can motivate people to take action and challenge the marketing community by asking, why can't you sell this, and why can't you, do this? So these are all the comes under social media. And nowadays you see the social selling, especially in Corona days when the markets were closed. All this was, that is not concerned with our topic, but concerned also that was the for profit basis, and our social marketing is a non-profit marketing for health promotion. But the technique of and the media used are the same. But there is a certain differences which I will tell you, the difference of social marketing and the proper business marketing. Now the goals of social marketing. The goals it speaks to impact personal behavior by persuading target audiences. You have a target audience, you have the targeted community people, and by this you impact personal behavior. Difference with the previous model, our aim was to intervene community. Now we are intervening the personal behavior. It is like to avoid risky practices. For example, you are, campaigning about avoidance of smoking. It is a risky, smoking is a risky practice, so we are educating the people not to do it. Then there are certain antisocial actings like littering, spitting, etc. while walking, and all that. Then is to take preventive measures like you use a helmet or a safety belt, whatsoever so is, and then there is another factor that you join, give or organize for a specific cause. These are all the goals of a social marketing. Then the features are, the behavior change is voluntary. You don't, you just, guide the people, you just educate the people. The change is voluntary, not by, coercion or some enforcement. There is no, in the social marketing, there is no legal binding. You just, educate the people. This is the first very important feature. Then there is feature of exchange. You just tell them the benefit, and by that you get the things done. And then you use, whatever the marketing techniques involved, you use that, and that must be in the consumer oriented market segment. You segment the market, that you segment your audience, you segment your clients, and then you apply the marketing techniques. And the ultimate goal is to improve individual and social welfare and make profit for the organization, carrying over the intervention, as in the case with commercial marketing. And what is our profit of non-profit campaign is to educate the people to, so that for their better health outcomes. And social marketing covers a wide variety of disciplines. They have health education, advertising, economics, business management, scientific research, community organization, then the psychology and epidemiology. These are all the disciplines. There are different disciplines in social marketing. Then I already told you social marketing is like commercial marketing, but what is the difference? Social marketing aims to change attitudes and behavior to a healthy behavior. But commercial marketing, it needs identify needs and wants of the target market segment. Social marketing serves interests of the target market without personal profit. In social marketing, there is no personal profit, but the commercial marketing aims to make a profit by serving the interests of target market. And mostly marketing of ideas and concepts rather than tangible products. Mostly in social market, we don't have a tangible product. We don't have something to sell, neither a shirt, nor a pen, nor a garment, nothing else. We sell the education. We teach them to do something or not to do something, to adopt certain habits. Whereas in commercial marketing, mostly there are products or services, mostly sold through ideas. So the principles and techniques of social market is all those which are in the commercial market. So 4 P's very important. It is product, price, place, and promotion. So product, our project is, there can be a tangible product, like we are, our product is we are giving them advice for the use of contraceptives for population planning or some medicine. So these can be tangible, but mostly it is intangible. For example, health education or counseling, these are intangible. And then like there can be the product services, branding, positioning as life cycle product development. These are, all, concerned with the product. Then is the price, what is the price for this social marketing of this health marketing? The price is there, someone has to pay for that. There can be some price, of course, in that if someone is purchasing very nominal price, but mostly the price we pay is the time, or pleasure, a loss of self-esteem, embarrassment, lifestyle. This is the price we pay for social marketing. And place is there are the places where it is done. It is the clinics. You provide a family planning, education, or avoidance of the sexually transmitted diseases, or some prevention of hepatitis. These are all the places where you have, there are some couriers or suppliers, along with their products, they also give the social marketing campaign part. Then is the promotion, it's the mean of message by which the benefits of a particular product or behavior change is accomplished. And these commonly include the advertisements through radio, TV, leaflets, posters, handouts, etc. These are the our promotion styles. Then, you know, it is, all this is the, then there is a market mix strategy. We use all these, combine all this for the social marketing. And what is the stepwise approach in social marketing is the first we identify a health problem and methods of social marketing. Then we identify priorities and implementation. Then we analyze the marketing activities. Then we identify target audience. Then we analyze each market strategy. And the sixth one is identification of objective for each target group, and then designing and testing the social message. Then we design and test the social message, then selection of market and distribution system where we have to give this message, and then the last one is evaluate the impact of that social message. And social marketing can face certain challenges, that there can be, disparity between market analysis, market segmentation, product strategy, and all other elements of the social marketing. And then there are certain limitations and difficulties as well in impact planning, in the communication options, etc. And so it is very important is how this social marketing is applied to health. This is widely used to influence health behavior and health communication strategies. These are based on mass media and interpersonal approach, and then it is the face-to-face by healthcare provider, or either mode of communication or market matches can be used. Then it can be used as promotion in clinics, then dissemination, and then is the community level outreach. And all this comes under a social marketing wheel. These steps, they are like a wheel, and they all are interconnected. And from the last, you just start the first step as well. And then like this, you plan and develop the strategies. And the last stage, feedback into the first to create a continuous loop of the planning. I told you all these are interconnected like a wheel, and the last step is the first step of the implementation, and then you can just change your scope. So this was all about social marketing. Thank you very much.